Alright guys, what's up? It is Aries. So, as you can see, we have a tanky boy Matic Finder here. So this is a 570 rarity, for now. Kinetic Blast, Zenith, CI, Strength, Int, ES, Mana Stacker. So we have a little bit going on. The reason why we played this build is to get more DPS, more survivability, push rarity to the absolute max, and let's be real, who does not want to play CI? And so we can stop getting 45 portaled by Xandro. This mother... I want people to play this build. There's me, God, my buddy Blakey, and 2 viewers playing this now, and I think there could be a lot more players. Like, it is so fun, and it's versatile. There's a lot of things you can do. I'm pretty sure you cannot beat Rarity versus this thing. I don't think there's a chance. So I'm going to start out by, we're going to go over the tree. Go over the ascendancy. We're going to come back into items. I'm going to talk about the items that I'm wearing, why I'm wearing them. Then I'm going to talk about possible substitutes for some of them that are expensive. So first off, I want to say that when I built this build, right, I did not have enough currency for a sublime. So I built this thinking that as long as I had damage, I could make this probably work. I've been Matic finding a while now, several leagues. So I'm pretty good with defensive layers and things like that. So I started with the sword and I went auras. Okay. So that was tanky enough for me. And I think it felt better in my 2 mirror penance brand by like quite a long ways, I feel like. I would say that, 2 to 2.5 mirrors would be a starting budget for an aura version. And then your sublime is like 1.8. So I would say like that version, probably 4.5 mirrors comfortably. And that's trying to give some leeway. I don't want anyone to be over budget. I'd much rather you be under budget than over. But I don't know what's going on. I've seen a lot of Zenith players lately, and I've seen a lot of Life Zenith players lately, and the ones I know have been struggling. So I don't know how that is going or whatever. But we don't use OSIN, and I'm pretty sure this build might be like 2/3 of the cost, if less, from what I've heard. Maybe tankier at mid range. I mean, we know Steve. It's not tankier than Steve's. Yeah, no. But it's this thing. This thing's like just a train. Like it's strong. It's definitely the tankiest build I've ever played. Even with MF, it's the tankiest build I've ever played. So we'll start out. I got a POB here. We'll start out. This is the Zenith Kb combo, and I'll explain what we got here. So let's find this. All right, so your baseline tree is going to be the same with any scenario here, I would say. So we're going to start out. We have your strength damages is your spell damage. Okay, so this means strength is spell. You use Crown of Eyes. Crown of Eyes converts the damage of spell into whatever it is, whatever the wording is. Hold on, so I don't sound stupid here. So spell damage is attacks. There we go. Figured it out, right? KB also has this modifier on it. Maybe double check now. So KB also has that modifier on it. So you're gonna go here into a Storm Shroud. I think reduced effects of curses is really strong. Corrupted Blood is really strong. AoE is alright. It would be like my last thing. If I could get like a, I don't know, maybe a, I'm not too sure what else I'd go. There's a couple other things. You can just go normal. We don't need lightning res, so it's not a big deal. Just whatever you see for a corruption if you can get it. So these change a lot depending on which setup I'm doing, and they're never going to stop changing, probably. I always look for upgrades. So this is an 8 passive setup. I also run 12s. Blakey has 2 voices. God has 1 voices. This is 3 8s. I also run 2 12s and an 8. No, sorry. add another 12 to all those numbers as well too. So this is a 4 cluster setup, right? So I'll also run 2 12s, 3 12s, and an 8. There's all kind of things. There's so many variables. You can get points when you need it, depending on what you want. Like the versatility is really, really neat. I'll probably re-roll this one. I don't like the strength. I want the int. So it's gonna be. I'm trying to push attack speed here. So attack speed ES. Your attributes 35% effect. Pretty basic. These are gonna go with everything. We get our endurance charge there. For this setup in general, this is going to be just one of our rare jewels. So our rare jewels are going to be crit multi, attack speed, crit multi, or you can go attributes in there. What else is good? A couple of okay ones, but really those are your main kickers. As we work up the tree, we'll talk about the ascendancy here. So this is going to be our ascendancy, right? This is where it gets big. Okay, so coming up the tree here, you have Zealot's Oath. So we have Zealot's Oath, and we have Conk Ground here, okay? So this is why we go in Quiz. Quiz is nasty. I played this with Spark, but this character within Quiz is wild. I see a lot of Juggernauts and shit like that. Tricksters, I see Tricksters coming out now. But there's just a lot here. So our ES regen, massive problem, 584, right? So we get regen here, and then we get conk here. Whenever I hit Zealots. So Zealots is getting life regen in the ES. This is massive, right? 654, that's well, like 1100 ES right there. Come down here, my crit is 16, okay? My crit might be 16 even with crit strikes in. So I'm running crit strikes right now, right? Just because of having the KB. So having the KB, I'm really down on crit. So normally when I just run a sword, which is what I would do if I was running T17s, just 24/7, because it's a slow mechanic. You go to the boss, I can get like 2300 ES, 2200 ES. I can be super tanky and just use LS to clear it. And that right now I'm just clearing as fast as I possibly can, or just chill. KB is just super fun. I don't run much of the 17s. It's just not. I don't like the layouts and stuff. So with our Inquisitor, right? This is how we get our crit. So your strength and int, whichever is lower, is where your cap is. So this goes from 5% crit, right? Right there to 68. So when I put this in and run crit strike, I'm crit cap now. So this on you, whatever it may be, KB, whatever, it just goes crazy. Like this goes absolutely crazy. So I can actually swap it here and I'll show you. We get a lot of crit from these wands. So this would be a KB setup there. So my KB crit is 100, right? That ascendancy, 15. It's 85% of my crit is right there. And then these numbers right here would be more balanced normally if I was running my sword. My strength and int, where are they? Right here. You would want them to like teeter-tot each other, go up a little, so your crit just gradually is moving up. So moving on, we come here. This is crit strikes, ignore LE res. This is basically like, let's say you're inverted here. Like how you always take inverted with bow and stuff like this. You just, it's O sin, so original sin for elemental damage in our ascendancy. Absolutely massive. So it gives us basically a straight up free ring compared to an O sin version, right? Not to mention I can buy a sick ring and I get buy one, get one. Anytime you get buy one, get one on a ring like that with a Colonus Touch, you are in the money. That is the best feeling, right? And when you see the ring, what it does, you'll be like, oh shit, this is crazy, okay? So there's two ways you can run this. We run it this way, okay? So 10% more attack damage per spell you use. So we use a brand attached to Flame Wall. So that is one spell. We also use, oh man, I can't think of it now. We use Sigil Power, and we use Frost Shield. Okay, so This would basically be like a setup like for your boss. I don't have to do these often, right? So I would just do 1, 2, and then I'll just throw my brand down. My brand's going to attach, flame wall is going to come out. Okay, and I'll talk a little bit about the skills and why we use those skills. I got to figure out a skill here because I have this open ass slot for nothing. So this, you can go this way, and if we use it for ritual too, it's really good for ritual. If you just get all these rogue exiles and you have 30% more damage, and it punches, you can instantly feel it, or your map boss or whatever. So you can go there, or if you really don't want that setup, you can run this way too. This is they deal less LE damage, and you deal more LE damage. So moving on, okay, we have our ritual. We've done that. So this is going to be your sublime setup. Sublime vision. This is 1.7 mirrors right now. You hear about it, you see it. Maybe you know what it is, you don't know what it is, but I'll go over it here. So this thing gets kind of crazy. Okay, so you can only run one aura. Okay, I can only run period of fire. Okay, so I can't run haste, can't run grace, stuff like that. So when I run this, okay, in my sublime, 30% of my cold and lightning is taken as fire. Okay, so this goes with a watcher. This is pretty much your best in slot watcher. This is immune to burning ground, so I don't need burning ground, and then I don't get hurt by burning ground. And then you divine it up to 20% cold and lightning taken as fire. So we have 50, right? So 20, 30, and then this is added by temper by war. Okay, temper by war comes in our lethal. This is cold and lightning damage taken as fire. So now you have 100% of your cold lightning taken as fire, and you can just screw off straight up with your cold and lightning res. So cold and lightning res does not matter. I don't need this on any piece of gear. I don't need this anywhere. I don't care. Okay, and I'm CI, so I'm immune to chaos. Okay, so the only thing I'm worried about is fire. Literally the only element that hurt me. Okay, and fizz. So let's see. Same? Yeah, same. All right. So moving on. Those are those two. I think these like 50 div for the double right now. 40, 50, 60 div. I think it's well worth it. I haven't messed with the burning ground without it. I don't know. I might be able to just regen through it. You can try. I'm not too sure. So this is going to go with an Emperor's Mastery. So Emperor's Mastery is our attributes. We're going to get attributes here and global defenses here. Continuing on, we have another 8. And the reason why these are attack damage too is these are global clusters, okay? This is for Zenith mixed with KB. If I were to choose one or the other, I would do like Wand for KB. For Zenith, I would do Two-Hand if I want to roll attack speed on it. If I don't want to attack speed, spell damage is stronger. Because spell damage is going to be multiplied, right? So spell damage is going to be multiplied by 150%. When you have attack damage, it's 1 is the 10 and 1 is the 12, okay? So this spell is more because it's a 1.5 times. Except the cluster runs, a spell is a 10 and attack is 12. So you get 2% there. So this is another one. I'll probably reroll this one too, for my KB at least. I probably want int on all these. I want all these perfect soon, and that's probably where I'm going to sit. Up here, we come into 1. It's really these 3 big nodes back here. So we have our attack speed, crit multi, and a little bit of attack speed here. Yeah, a little bit here. This is also a really good node back here. That node's good, and then we get an additional projectile, which is an explosion because we're using clustering. So this, I just actually rolled this. This is my best in slot situation. Okay, so I go dual crit multi, double attack speed. 2 apply for Zenith, 2 apply for KB. This is going to be the same with an int synth. Another substitute, I'm pretty sure I already said it, but another substitute is attributes. Coming down, we have CI. This is your leech, okay? The ES leech of this build is insane. As you can see over here, it says 4397, right? I'm pretty sure we're hard capped on 20% of your max ES, is what I'm thinking. So this is that life regen. 4,397, right? But I'm pretty sure we're hard capped because I've noticed it here. So when I look here, it's 3,410, right? And it's 20%. So I'm assuming that that would add up, right? If I divide that number by that, or divide that number by 20, I'm pretty sure that comes up to that. So carrying on, this is my best in slot currently. So this goes with my pair of boots I have that have endurance charge on kill. So if you don't have those boots, I would definitely get an endurance charge in one of these nodes, right? So, and I'm not saying they're the best at all. They're just the best for what I want currently. So you get like an endurance charge in here, and then strength becomes weaker with KB, but it's very, very strong with Zenith and very strong with Atlas because of you're not being crit capped. So without that crit cap, that's how you get it. So it becomes really critical. So this is double damage, right? We get our frenzies here. Then we have our leech here. This is strength. This is strength as well. Since my KB, right, you have ES from mana, which I didn't talk about Sanctuary yet, but I will go right back to that. Let me do it now. So I have mana here, right? So mana comes with our Forbidden Flesh and Flame. So Forbidden Flesh and Flame is Sanctuary of Thoughts. Gain max mana as ES. And then AoE as unreserved mana. Two massive, massive areas there. So that's big damage. So anytime I get these mana nodes, it's ES. While gaining my strength, giving me a 4 notable, because I've always had a 3, so it became big. This is another big one. ES, energy shield on kill, evasion, double damage. Okay, so if you don't run the boots, right, and you have, say, a Jade Flask, because we have no form of evasion, but we have massive amounts of evasion we can get, this node goes crazy. But it will get bricked by altars. So if you yank, like, if you have a Jade Flask and you yank a negative evasion, like, you're probably going to go straight down to 0. And I'm yanking every single altars, including fire altars right now for quant. I would just yank almost anything. I don't always live through it. Most of the time I do, but a few times I don't. So that node right there, evasion per int, is crazy. As you can see, it's 380, right? What was it? Yeah, so that increased 360% of your evasion. When I was running the Aura version of this, I was 95 evasion with Grace, like it was nothing. It was so easy. I've never seen it that easy ever. Carrying on, we run a spell here. So you can run a spell here, you can run attack damage, you can run wand, whatever you want. But I do think when I've swapped these clusters around, I think this is the best setup right now. The 3 for what my setup is, right, is the 3 attack damage with attack speeds and 1 spell. Because when I've swapped this to attack speed, it went down. When I swapped the other to spell, the spell it always wins, right? The spell is always more damage, but you might attack slow as shit, which also I'm not trying to do. Coming in, we have split personalities. So if you're not familiar with split personalities, you gain 5 strength, 5 int, and all this way to your starting location. Okay? So basically, you want these 2 jewels as far as you can away from your starting location. Okay, so I think this is a really cool thing too. So as you can see, this jewel is 6.6% damage at the top, right? This one's 6.8. So they change. What you don't want to do, and why it's this way, is this. So when you do this, you make them equal. Because, right, you're the same distance away from your starting location. But if you come this way into the back half, or vice versa, right? So if we go this way, you change because you're creating 3 more travel points here versus, or you could go vice versa like this, right? Those nodes aren't supposed to be there. So now these change. So now this is 6.8 and that's 6.6. Coming down here, we have skills fire and our non-val skill. Non-val skill. We've tried this. I can tell you right now, if you're using Zenith, Zenith will not work without this on our setup. Okay. It creates, like, my buddy called it a clone. It basically creates a target that you can hit and it rebounds your shots back into your enemy. Like, straight up, there is something missing in the wording of this skill right here for Zenith. Like, it just straight up will not work at all. um, so now what I want to talk about is this, right? That's basically the whole setup. Did I miss anything here? Looks pretty good. It's pretty straightforward. You can change whatever. Okay, and I'll go over that here. So I'm going to change this. I'm going to change this to the way I run KB, okay? So all I do is Impossible Escape. I'm going to show you how easy it is, right? Possible Escape comes here. I don't need to do this in the map. This is just if I wanted to keep the sword in the stash, right? And just run it whenever. If I want to do Uber, I had to go. And I just swap these points out. Okay? So that's where we're sitting now. So I gain 6 skill points here. I lose a jewel. No biggie. So I actually have another POB up of something very similar like this. And I'll show you about versatility. So this is another one. These are 12s though. Oh, we can show this. So this is a 12 setup I was running for more ES. This is 1800. So I ran a 12. It seems like I always need an 8 unless you run something like a voices. So I do want my 8 perfect. I have one 8 that is never coming out. All the others, my 8 and my spell damage are never coming out. These swap in and out depending on what I'm feeling, and I will probably swap them 40 more times before league ends. Who knows? Whatever I find that I like. So say like this one, right? And I have skill points. I don't currently, but if I did, right, I can come depending on what I'm looking for. Okay, we can go here for damage. I can go here for damage and ES, right? So if I want that, okay, if I want more ES, if I can come here, even though I know this one's better. So I know this one, my little 8 I was talking about just now, I know it's max roll, it's perfect. I can come in here for ES, right? If I want damage, I can come into all those are damage. I have damage here. So literally there's so many different things. So many different things you can do. I'm really excited to see like what the community can do. We have 5 of us playing it that I know of right now. So I mean, and it's just killer. I don't think you can top the Rarity. And I think I have a long way to go still. I have some ideas that I want to do. But I mean, it is so fun. Like, it is such a good build. You'll see here actually. I'll show you what I run. So this is the setup I'm trying now. Same tree, everything goes the same. But I'm trying this, right? Since I'm using Anarchy and I'm running, what are they called? Exiles. So if I came down here, I knew I had a little bit of travel points. I'm seeing how comfortable I feel coming off some ES. All this crit multi, crit multi, crit multi, crit multi uniques. This is a lot of damn here. But other than that, I'm pretty sure that's everything in the tree. I didn't write any notes, so I'm hoping we can just one-shot this. So hopefully all that's good information. If you guys have any questions about any of this, feel free to stop by my Twitch. I'll plug it in at the bottom. Or can't promise you I'm gonna be the best at reading comments. I'm gonna try, but I don't do YouTube often, so I'm not very used to it. So now I'll go over the gear. Okay, so gear wise, if you run the sword version, right, and that's probably, I don't know if I said it, that's probably what I would run on straight T17s. Straight T17 Titanic, something. I'd probably just run sword and not worry about KB. From my setup, it's a lot, and I lose a lot when I start getting farther out. Actually, while I'm here, let me see if I have it. I'm gonna bring this up. I'll show you kind of how different they get. And I have this chart up too. So I've been making different POBs, and I'm gonna keep putting them in a chart like this, just so you can see. And I'll show you how different this build I'm talking about is. Because this, instead of going for that way, I start branching here. So these are massive clusters, and these aren't max rolled. So this is a lot. That gets higher too. I think I don't remember what I ran here. That's attack speed and shit. But yeah, you can get like a lot more ES. So uh, any way you want to do it, we do it. This is for KB, but we'll do this. So this is for your sword, right? Have to run this. This is so much damage. When I say so much damage, is ridiculous, and I'm gonna show that in a map. Uh, a couple, be like a video or two after this one, and you'll see exactly what I mean about how much damage this applies. So if you're running the sword, you run this. If you want to run KB, you can run Rarity here. You can run straight ES. We can run whatever. It doesn't matter. It's all up to you. It's all your call. Fizz taken as Chaos, massive. We're immune to it. That is just straight Fizz. AoE is for KB. These are our KB wands. So these are our KB wands here. The sword, hopefully it's up here. It is not. The sword is by AR. I'll show you here. So AR, he comes and hangs out in the chat. He made the sword. Good man he is. That's what it is right there. So attack speed, strength, int stacking, with spell damage, all that. It's called the Rapture Needle. Very, very nice. He also made our amulet. So our amulet, move this shit. Our amulet is a double anointed for savagery and tranquility. Tranquility is massive. It is spell damage. We get added spell damage to ES. So the higher we get up with ES, the more spell damage you get. Get our rarity, get our strength, int, everything, all the juicy shit. So I bought this chest for like 260 divs or something like that. It's good. A lot of ES. The less damage taken per int is the nice one. So both builds run Shaper. This is the pair that I'm running currently. If you're running Sword, I would go attack crits and help boost that crit up. Ring. Okay, this is the animal. Oh yeah, and the wands were made by God. So God pitched the idea of wanting to do this because he was playing Zenith for a while. So God was hanging out, talking with me and Blakey, and he went, bought this base, scoured this bitch, Vivid Vultured it, ran KB, messaged us, sent us videos of KB. We're looking at KB and we're like, I don't know about that. And we're like, wait a minute, what if we run this shit with Zenith? Okay. Fucking, so God swaps into MF, we swap into KB, and it's all been like from here on out. It's just been a whirlwind. It's been cool. So the rings, okay. The rings, I think I paid 480 for this. I think I got a steal. It's not horrible to make, I don't think. I don't think it would be bad to make, honestly. I think you could do it pretty easy. You're really only looking for 3 positives here. So rarity, strength, int. Aspect can go either way, negative or positive, or it's just not on here, depending. If you went without rarity here, this ring is a lot cheaper. And when I say a lot, I wouldn't be surprised if I can get it for like 80, 90 div. I'm not too sure on the price. I can actually check real quick here. So I'm not too sure, but as long as it doesn't have like any bad mods, that should kind of tell me. There's no telling though. 50, 60 divs for a non-rarity version. Aspect might get a little bit harder. You can get that on the chest though. Here's one here. Let's see. How's it look? Reduced rarity though. You just gotta worry about the reduced ones. That's gonna be your problem, and reduced crit multi and shit like that. So they're not horrible, you know. My buddies, on the other hand, he paid 3.5 mirrors, so these things do fluctuate a lot. A lot. Now, you want to talk about bang for your buck? This ring right here is crazy. Basically, everything just works perfect with each other. So the ring, right? I do 1.5 mil, or right, 1.5 mil. So that's what it shows here. 1.5 mil. Take my ring off. 800k. Okay. The ring is 50% damage, right? So 50% damage, 50% of my damage with aspect of the crab, which is 20% of physical damage reduction aura. So I'm gaining that too while gaining that. Oh, that ain't it, right? Because we're Inquisitor, strengthen it, right? Strengthen it, that's crit. So there goes crit. Okay. Now, while doing that, we're stacking ES. So I'm at 1750 ES, right? 1750, rip this ring off me, 12.7. You want to talk about money for value or value for money? Dude, this ring is crazy. It is crazy what these do. So 12.7, what are we going to call that? That's 4,300 ES. 4,300 ES, 20% physical reduction, and 50% damage. Total 50% damage. Like, what? That's insane. And also, another thing I didn't mention about this is we get the ES from Shaper's Touch. We also get accuracy from Shaper's Touch. You can see that here. I noticed this the other day, and I thought it was funny. If you take, say, KB. Where is this? No, not KB. Oh yeah, KB. Oh, what the hell? So you take KB, right? And you put this here. Our accuracy is 100, right? Ripped them gloves off. 59. My damage. 106. Here, let's add these in. 185.9% damage. Wow, that's nice. You know? So everything just stacks with each other. So let's see what are we missing. We run a Mage Blood. So this is the Mage Blood I'm currently running. Rarity Mage Blood. So you don't need the Yelly res on here. You don't need res at all. There was one thing I did notice with this time list, though. If I did not have this Mage Blood and I had another, right? With Crown of Eyes, I push my fire res down. So this is important to know, too. I think there's a couple of these left. They're good to have in your back pocket. So 85 fire res, right? I noticed that here, right? If I came out of this, and sorry, I am going like all over the place. It's that ADD in me, but hopefully it all is streamlined enough for you guys. So I can cheese my max res here. Okay. 5% max res is crazy, right? You can do it that way. In this case, if you're this tight, okay, or you can do it this way. Take a strength node, come here, just get fire res, screw it, and call it even for your helm swap, depending on which way you're going with whatever. So we are there. Let's talk about boots. Okay, so I just made these the other day. This is Unwavering Stance. Okay, these are going to be in Sushi's shop. I'm talking with his mod right now. Unwavering Stance is you cannot evade. This can be a very shitty node to have. This can be a very good node depending on what you want to do. If you want to rely on evade or have a chance of evasion, it's really good. It's really good not to have this, I'm going to be honest, for the boss. And then it's really good to have this after you kill the boss, because the likelihood of you getting an altar that's going to rip your evasion is very likely. And I'm going to yank that bitch every time, I'm going to tell you. So I could technically like leap slam to the boss, right? Kill him, have full evade, walk out, hit my first altar, rip off my evasion, and be fine. So I didn't weigh that, but, you know, before I made it, I didn't weigh that, but it could be totally, like, totally good or bad, depending on what you want. There's also a node down here that's actually kind of crazy, where you convert evasion to armor, which was something I was looking at too. I don't know how the hell we'd get there, but I was looking at a couple builds with it. So on top of that, we get our endurance charge, okay? So we get our endurance charges there. We gain int. We got rarity, ES, Abyssal Socket, Rarity, Int. These are for KBMF. The way I made them. Um, having the unwavering allows for a new suffix, so that suffix can either go, generally it's going to be versus or movement speed. Those two are the ones I was balancing. The one big problem with the KB is the movement skills feel like shit. Okay, I have Frostblink. I don't have enough cast speed for Wintry Blast. And just to spam it after playing Lightning Strike, Leap Slam, and all this shit, you know. I feel slow. I feel real slow compared to it, or my old TSs that I always play. So a Ruby Flask, avoid shock for Storm Shroud, silver, curses, quicksilver, movement, and rarity. If you don't have unwavering, one of these is going to be stunned. And I wanted to talk about your other options here. Okay, so we have our amulet, mirror amulet. There is an option that I went first. It'd be something like this. Okay, a Great Wolf, 36 attributes, 12% fizz reduction. This is a tanky ass amulet. This is what we have to give up for rarity. This shit. Straight off the rip, I lose so much. I don't even know how much ES that is. It's not much. It's not much. 600 ES. 600 ES and 12% fizz reduction. That becomes a lot, you know. One of my viewers made this one as an idea. Pretty good idea. I had never thought about like doing these in the video, you know. He went with a strength and int synth, right? I didn't see a lot of these available still, but then he just crafted int on here, got ES on, and then hit double rarity, and then hit pros speed, pros damage. Which we would change that. We would go something else, but as I don't know if you can get a synth there cheap, if you can get a Great Wolf cheap, but it's options. So this is another pair of boots I made, right? So this is a cheaper pair. Action speed, very nice. I would definitely say that. You can go regen life per endurance at the top. You can go whatever you want. So I build these two ways. If you're using sword, where we're using strength and int to cap crit, right? I would take that abyssal socket out, and I would probably run strength and int here. And that's the way I've crafted the boots 3 times. Okay. So you can go strength int rarity. You can go abyssal strength int. You can go, what do I have on here? Abyssal rarity int. You have the options there, right? Then moving up, we'll go T1 ES every time. We can go ES into ES. Or you can do that with Leap Slam. You don't really need movement speed with Leap Slam. So you could go ES into ES. We can go rarity, whatever you want. And then I like the regen per endurance charge on these, since we have 4. So that's pretty nice. A couple other things I think was like cooldown recovery and a couple other things like that. Trying to think what else I have here. I didn't really write any notes or anything. We went over. Let me talk about skills, okay? And I'll do the timestamps here. So skills wise, okay. Setting up these skills for 2 is a bitch. Like, it is confusing with what you go in helmet, what you're doing like this, what your aura is doing, all this. So I'm a big Immortal Call fan. I'm a massive Immortal Call fan. It's always been my defensive layer for TS. I would take Immortal Call over Grace every day. So I run Immortal Call Castwind. Spellslinger Tornado. This also goes into Spellslinger Tornado Enlighten sometimes, depending on the POE. Auto Exertion with General's Cry. General's Cry is the shortest cooldown. It's 3 seconds. The others are 8, meaning that we get more rage. Frostblink, Travel Skill. We have Sniper's Mark, Mark on Hit. Sigil, gonna be our big ring here. We have Flame Wall with Arcanist brand. That's gonna be our brand that attaches. And then Flame Wall is every projectile that fires through adds 83 to 125 fire damage, right? And we have maximum of 4 flame walls. So that's just going to trigger off all my flame walls. This one's real cool. So we have all of our damage supports. We have, what else here? So Arctic armor. We have Arctic armor here. We have Enlighten, Fury of Fire, Frost Shield. Okay. So Randolph, one of my mods, actually hooked me up with this idea. This is not some shit I was thinking about. Okay. So Fury of Fire is this. Fury of Fire is this. He was like, wait a minute. Mate, I got you. I was like, what you got? What you got? Okay. I was bummed because I had the frenzy and I crafted, let's say I might have made a few gloves, right? So these, and I have more. Okay, so I have more gloves. I did like 250 chambers or some shit. I hope I never touch one again. So we are Aura, AoE, Fire for our tags on Period of Fire. Okay, now say if you had duration, right? You ran Val and Period of Fire, it has duration of Period of Fire. This is not something I thought about. This is the same as like haste or grace. So Val haste, Val grace does the same exact thing. So we have that. That was sick. Still got to figure out what's going in there. What else have I not covered? Pretty sure that's about it, honestly. Like I said, my Twitch is going to be plugged below. Twitch TV Aries. Hopefully, all this made sense. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me. I'm going to keep my POBs updated. I'm going to keep everything. All right, guys. So I do want to show you guys what it looked like for clear speed on a T17. If I were to run strictly T17s, which I don't, I would run probably just the sword. I'd probably run the sword for ES, run this with LS and Zenith. I've lost probably 5,000 ES, somewhere in that range, trying to do all three of these at once, and taking off clusters for KB. So if you want T16, AoE, and more clear speed, faster maps, all that, I would run KB, definitely. We find the T16s to be equal or more profit than T17s, not to mention you can kind of kick your feet back and relax in them, which is really, really nice. But I do want to show the rundown of basically what I would do. So the one nice thing is you can basically just leap slam through this whole map. You have enough leech to where you can do it. And when you leap slam with Frostbank, it gets a little crazy, I'm not going to lie. Ooh, I walked into the boss room. Okay. Can probably kill him a KB here. I did not mean to do that. Let's see here. Might accidentally be an example of KB. I don't have fork, but I should have enough leech here. It's going to take a minute. But even the KB can get there. It's just not the best. It's always struggle with AoE, though. Has the leech. So this is 2 Gigantification, Titanic, Legend, with Anarchy. But this is the reason why we went Zenith. I mean, this is not the worst. It just takes a little bit for Titanic here. But we actually killed him by accident. I did not mean to do that at all either. So my Zenith setup's gonna look like this, right? So when you come to the boss room, you're gonna have Blood and Sand here. So when you have your sword, Blood and Sand goes to blood mode. That's for less AoE for your Zenith to ricochet. I don't need that now, so we're just gonna go Frostblink here, and then we got a Prophecy 1, 2. Alright, so now Zenith, all that happens really is Zenith comes out, Lightning Strike comes in. And then I would take out GMP for something. GMP would go crits, but I guess we're gonna just do it this way. And then I should have Pierce in. Yeah, I should have Pierce in. Alright. Yeah, so this would be your clear speed with this. And I'm basically missing a skill gem. I'm getting GMP, but I don't need it. Let's see. And you can just fly across these maps too. It's really nice, actually, with Leap Slam. Yeah, that's funny, I accidentally did this. That's close to dying there. There we go. Yeah, so I would have a different setup. So I would basically have my gloves and my helmet would swap. So my helmet would be +2 AoE, right? Or fire, or whatever is working with your period of fire here. Yeah, you can see this damage is no joke. So whatever is working with my period elements would be in my helmet, whereas we get crit from inner gloves, which helps my crit. Because I'm like 60, 70 because of my strength is so low. And because we don't need strength like that for KB. But you can see the damage is here. Like, the damage is here, the LS just fine. You will be fine with all this, especially the boss. Like, the boss damage on LS and Zenith is just so much better. Let's see. Let's see if I can get another one here and I'll swap. Let's see. Probably right here. So I have a lot less damage because of GMP, but I forgot my skill gem. I'm trying to organize too much. So for here, right, my KB, I should just have to swap here. But normally you would never do it like this. And that'll be my forking. But I did just want to give you guys an example, and I'll throw the map mods up here so you guys can see it. Also, my flask would change for KB. I could get 2 explosions from, what's it called? I'll get 2 explosions from Dying Sun. So I wouldn't need a tincture. The tincture is absolutely cracked, though. Like, I would definitely run it on Zenith if I go that route. I hope I'm not repeating myself too much, too. But, yeah, I tried to do a video of me just killing the boss, but I'm literally, like, so slammed in here between 2 different builds. So, yeah, the KB AoE is just crazy. Single target slacks a little bit, but even in here, it's like no problem. I think this is, how much pack size? It's 67 pack size, so it's actually pretty low. I know that can get over 100. And the Titanic Scarab just scales like crazy.
Holding your breath, trying to ready yourself for whatever I'm gonna do. Will I drag you in bed, trying to fix it with sex, or will I tell you I'm done with you? I know I'm complicated, kinda crazy, but will you stay the night? I know it's hard to trust me, but if you let me, I'll make it alright. I don't ever mean to take it out on you, and I don't want to hurt you, but I always do. I don't have a clue what's fucking wrong with me, but I'm always turning on the ones that love me, and I don't ever mean to. No, I don't mean to be cruel. Dropping the L's like there's nobody else, but there's somebody on my heart. I'm trying my best to fall in love with myself. Never thought it would be this hard. I know it's complicated and frustrating. You wish that I were fine. I know that it's a lot to ask of you to wait for me, but please give me a little more time, 'cause I don't ever mean to take it out on you, and I don't want to hurt you, but I always do. I don't have a clue what's fucking wrong with me, but I'm always turning on the ones that love me, and I don't ever mean to. No, I don't mean to be cruel. Yeah, I got a couple problems. Yeah, I'm trying to work on them. Yeah, I promise I'm working on them. Well, you wait as I'm working on them. 'Cause you know I don't ever mean to take it out on you. I don't want to hurt you, but I always do. I don't have a clue what's fucking wrong with me, but I'm always turning on the ones that love me. And I don't ever mean to. No, I don't mean to be cruel. No, I don't mean to be cruel. No, I don't mean to be cruel.